This video probably could have been a part of my spring cleaning video, but as I was making my list of spring cleaning tasks, I didn't think about these things, so you guys get a bonus video, but I still wanted to include these things and put this video out there because I think it's actually really helpful if you do these things in the spring that I'm going to talk about in this video, and it will make your life a lot easier in the fall. So it may seem weird to be preparing for the fall already, but it makes sense in my brain to do these tasks at this time instead of waiting until later. If you're new to my channel, I'm Kassy, and I make videos about how to streamline your home so you can add at least 7 extra hours back to your week. Now, if you're a mom and that sounds amazing to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell next to it, and I will do my best to get you those 7 extra hours. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I do in the spring to make my life easier in the fall is I make sure all of our cloth gloves are washed. We all have these Head brand gloves, and they're kind of a cloth running glove, I think is what they're actually intended for, but we use them a lot for skiing. I use mine for running as well, but for Ross and the kids, they're mainly used for warmer days when we're skiing or if we're hiking and it's a little bit chilly outside. Now, it may seem kind of bad that I don't clean them more often, but the reason that I don't clean them every time we come back from skiing is because they are spot clean only. I know, it seems crazy to me too that they aren't machine washable, but they're really good little gloves. They keep the kids nice and warm, they keep me nice and warm, whether I'm running or skiing, and we really like them, and I don't want them to shrink. So I haven't ever attempted to put them in the washer. I don't want them to shrink and us to be, especially for the kids, not to be able to use them and not to be able to use them for multiple children the way we are hoping to. So once a year, sometimes I will do this one other time if they get very dirty, especially the kids' gloves, but I will put all the gloves by the sink as I am currently doing, and I will use dish soap and I will clean them with the dish soap. I will use some warm water and I will wring them out, and I will use dish soap and I will scrub them with the warm water and keep wringing them out until the water runs clear, because they do get pretty dirty since we have used them all season. So I will do 2 pair at a time. These are the 2 that I did yesterday, and they look all nice and neat. And the reason I only do 2 at a time is my husband made this awesome gloves dryer. I will pop a little video of it in this video, but he made something that goes over our vent and it dries 2 pairs of gloves at a time. So I will do 2 pair. They will dry overnight just with the air circulating in the house or the heat or the cooler, whatever's on. And then I will do 2 more pair the next day, pop those on the dryer, and so on until all of our cloth gloves are done, all of our little running gloves. The next thing that I do in the spring to make my life easier in the fall is I will wash all of our ski gloves or our heavy winter gloves. I guess technically I'm not making my life easier in the fall in this one. It would be in the winter, but you never know. If it ever starts snowing in the fall, I am sure we will be up there enjoying the weather. So I went to get these all taken care of so I don't have to do it and try to remember to clean them all before we go skiing for the first time. When I do it before we put everything away, all the ski gear away, it is just done and everything is fresh and clean when we are ready to use it. Now, I will also hand wash these in the sink, kind of the same way, 2 at a time, put those on the glove drying rack that we have, and then I will put those away and do 2 more pair. And then once they are washed, I am going to do something that my husband taught me. My husband grew up in North Dakota, so he knows a thing or 2 about winter. And when we met, I was always cold when it wasn't the middle of the summer, and he taught me a lot about how to dress in the winter, how to layer clothes properly. And then he taught me that you actually need to use a special wash for all of your winter clothes, and then you need to re-waterproof your clothes. And when he was first telling me about this, I thought, I don't believe in that kind of magic. Waterproof clothes are supposed to be waterproofed and you're not supposed to have to do anything else with them. But it turns out the guy from the very wintry state knew what he was talking about, and he taught me how to take care of winter clothes properly so that they would last much longer and be useful much longer, because it's no fun to be walking around in winter gloves that don't keep out the water. Now, I may make a separate video showing you guys all the steps for how to take care of your winter clothes, if that sounds like that would be interesting. Maybe I'm the only person that doesn't know how to do that, but just in case there's one other of me out there, maybe I'll make that video next. But basically, you need this stuff called Nick Wax. I'm sure there's other brands too, but this is what we use. Not to be confused with Norwix, that's a totally different thing. This is Nick Wax, and this is a tech wash. I actually need to order more of the waterproof stuff. So this is the wash that you do for the gloves in this situation. And then there's another container that has a special solution where you actually do the waterproofing. So I'll talk more about that in the next video, but I will go through that whole step, that whole process with all of our gloves as well. Again, I will probably do those just 2 at a time, because gloves, if they're not dried right, they just get kind of gross on the inside. They never fully get dry and they just kind of get musty smelling. So I love having the glove dryer that he made us, and I will show you guys. Again, I will pop a little video of it in this video. You can buy them too, but he was like, I'm pretty sure I can make one of those, and he did, and it's awesome. The next thing that I do in the spring to make my life easier later in the year, can you guys guess what it is? I wash and re-waterproof all of our winter snow pants. Snow pants just seem to need to have this done more often, at least as often as we use ours, which is most weekends in the winter. But by the end of the season, they're starting to be not as waterproof, and anytime you sit down in the snow, you're not as dry as you once were. So I try to, at least once a year, re-waterproof everything, wash all of the snow pants. Now, it may seem a little bit gross that I only actually wash the ski pants once a year, but when you're wearing a base layer and then a fleece layer and then the ski pants over that, really just the 2 under layers need to be washed. But I do like to give all of the ski pants a wash at least once a year. Again, if somehow one of the pairs of pants gets really muddy, I may do it mid-season, but I usually find once a season is sufficient. The next thing that I do in the spring to make my life easier in the fall is I wash and waterproof all of our raincoats. I follow the same steps that I've been following all along, and again, I will show you how I actually do all of this in the next video. When it comes to the snow pants and the raincoats, I don't have to just do 2 at a time. I will wash them all, and then I will hang them on hangers and just kind of hang them around on the shower curtains until they are dry. So I'll usually just do a batch, like all of the pants in one day, hang those up, and then another day I will do all of the coats. Or if I'm feeling really ambitious, maybe I'll do it all in one day. But it is a little bit of a process, so it just depends on how much time I have. And the last thing that I do in the spring to make my life easier in the fall is I will wash and waterproof all of the winter coats. So this will be the same process. I will wash it with the special waterproof wash that is supposed to take care of that kind of clothing, and then I will waterproof it. That's all I had for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful. Maybe everybody else knew already how to do this and to kind of do all of these things in the spring. It was something that I learned definitely as an adult. And I think that's because I grew up in a place where we didn't use our winter gear all the time. We used our raincoats some, but we didn't go skiing all the time. Going up to the mountain was kind of a once a year thing, if that. It wasn't all the time. And it wasn't cold enough that we needed to be wearing our winter gear on a weekly basis. Where my husband grew up is definitely a thing where you need to bundle up quite a bit more. So yeah, I found this whole thing kind of interesting when I learned about it and thought it was pretty cool that you could extend the life of some of those more expensive items like your winter pants and your winter coat and your rain gear, and that you could make them last longer, make them last through multiple children. And if you're starting to get wet when it's raining outside, there's something you can do about it. You don't have to just throw those clothes away. Now, if you want to be sure you catch that next video where I show you how to do this whole process, be sure to subscribe down below and ring the bell next to it, because I would love to see you on that video.